Hello everybody and welcome to my channel, 100% Pure Elvis. Thank you all for taking the time out to return to my channel today. I really do appreciate it. And if this is your first time visiting the 100% Pure Elvis channel, thank you so much and I hope you enjoyed this upload. Before I get started on what I'm going to share with you all today, I just want to talk about my love of Elvis and especially the music of Elvis Presley. Many of my subscribers who have supported me from the very beginning will be well aware that I was brought up in a household full of love for Elvis and his music. The music that I was brought up on was mainly from the 1970s. So again, I didn't really start listening to Elvis from the 1950s until quite late, possibly in my late teens, early 20s, when I really got into avidly collecting Elvis. And, and I won't apologize for that because, again, being brought up in a household full of love for Elvis, but my mum mainly always played music from the 70s or from the 60s. Very rarely did she play Elvis music from the 1950s. And, I never really asked my mum why she always played Elvis music from the 70s. And my mum is still with us to this day. And my mum always will still want Elvis music from the 1970s played. My mum's favourite Elvis song from the 1950s is I Need Your Love Tonight, which happens to be my favourite because it's my mum's favourite. But if I had to choose a favourite from the 1950s as a standalone song, I absolutely adore Crawfish from King Creole. What's your favourite Elvis song from the 1950s? There is so many to choose from, isn't there? You've got your rock and roll songs, you've got your country, you've got your gospel, etc. Elvis bursting out onto the music scene at the right time, the king of rock and roll. And again, to me, to this day, no one has ever come close to the talent that Elvis Presley had. He could sing anything. So let's get started with the box sets that I want to share with you all today. All the box sets that I'm going to share with you today feature music from the 1950s. And then I'm going to be doing another upload later in the week featuring music from the 1960s in box sets. And then obviously the third and final one will be from the 1970s. So where do you begin when you are talking about Elvis Presley box sets featuring music from the 1950s? Well, your go-to is the great box set, Elvis, the King of Rock and Roll, the Complete 50s Masters. This was released on CD, vinyl, and cassette, and this was issued in 1992. As I was saying, the one that I own is the CD version, and I remember I did purchase this brand new way back in 1992, and I consistently played this. This is when I really started loving Elvis music from the 1950s. Your track listing on the back across the 5 CDs. I won't go through the track listing. It would take me far too long. But all Elvis fans will be well aware of the track listing on the King of Rock and Roll box set from 1992. It has been released since in a slimmed down version, but featuring exactly the same track listing. And I just think it's so well put together. But when you're talking about collecting Elvis and collecting box sets of Elvis, this is your starting point if you want to start collecting music from the 1950s. It's just absolutely a superb collection. To me, it is the best collection of Elvis Presley's 1950s music. And again, it's got its original sticker at the top here, top right, as you can see. I think the image that was chosen to be on the front of the box set is a great image, and the way the Elvis font, this box set was I was in awe of it when it first came out, and I still am in awe of it. Do I play this often? I must admit, not really. I play the slimmed down version more because with this being the original copy from 1992, I really prefer keeping this in mint condition. But let me showcase what's inside this box set. I have showcased this before, but newer subscribers to my channel might not be aware of what's inside. So it comes with a lovely book inside. And again, I won't go through all the pages, but great information about the music of Elvis Presley from the 1950s. And again, if you go onto eBay or Discogs, you know, if you'd rather own the vinyl box set, great. CD box set still available. You are going to pay a higher price for the original 1992 release. But again, if I was talking to any new collector of Elvis, you know, this is your starting point in respect of the beginning of Elvis Presley's career. And for me, I've read this book so many times inside. Oh, it's a mine of information on the music of Elvis from 1950s. I just want to move my, so you can see it. Oh, there, that's a lot better, isn't it? But again, when I look through this and I read it, it's just all the information you need is at your fingertips with this box set. So obviously, this is now 32 years old, this box set. And to me, it doesn't seem that long ago, 32 years ago. I'm now 51. So I was 19. So yeah, late teens, obviously. So that's when I started really avidly collecting Elvis music in all genres. Many subscribers to my channel will also be aware that I first started collecting Elvis on CD. And then that comes out like that. So again, on the back you've already seen. So a great booklet inside. You got your slip inside. And on the back it's showcasing other Elvis Presley releases here on CD. It's 1968 special here. I ordered this through the official fan club of Great Britain. And because I ordered it through the fan club of Great Britain, this came free inside. Talking with Elvis. There we go. Quickly show you the CD inside. There we, let me get that the right way around. There we go. That's the CD inside. And then I'm going to show you the CDs. CD 1. This has 30 tracks on it. CD 2. The CDs inside are images of Elvis which are on the front. CD 2 has 29 tracks. CD 3, a great one there of Elvis. CD 3 has 31 tracks. CD 4 in the army. This has 24 tracks. And then finally, CD 5, which is Rare and Rockin'. And this has 26 tracks. So again, what a wealth of music on there from the 1950s. And again, when I talk about collecting Elvis and collecting Elvis from the 1950s, the King of Rock and Roll, the Complete 50s Masters, has to be your starting point. Again, you don't have to buy the original from 1992. It has been reissued since. But if you do have the opportunity to own the original from 1992, whether it's on CD, vinyl, or cassette, please go for it. You know, you will not be disappointed. It's a great box set to own. Let's get on to the rest of them. Again, you will see I'm videoing somewhere very different on this upload today, which is in my bedroom. So again, I'm sorry if the upload isn't as good as it can be, because my husband is really busy downstairs. I don't really want to disturb him. The next one features Elvis Presley's first two albums, Elvis Presley and Elvis. So again, go-to albums from Elvis from the 1950s. His first and second album. Again, it might be quite controversial. So this is his debut album. So iconic, isn't it? This is. It's an iconic front cover image. On the reverse, we showcase the CD inside. There you go. It's a CD inside. And his second album, Elvis. On the reverse. Inside. So let me go back to that first album. So this has 13 tracks, but it's got bonus tracks. So tracks 13 to 18 are bonus tracks. And on his second album, tracks 1 to 12 are the original album, and then tracks 13 to 18 are bonus tracks. So again, I've had this box set in my collection for a number of years, and this was issued, trying to see what year this was issued. I can't see what year it was issued, but so that is the box set of his first and second album. This is a recent addition to my collection, Elvis the Complete 1950s Studio Masters. It's on the great Memphis Recording Service label. Absolutely love that label. Again, if you do have the opportunity to buy these when they come out, please treat yourself. You will not be disappointed in these. They do great box sets, Memphis Recording Service do. And again, it's a 4 CD set, and this was issued this year in 2024, and it features the Complete Studio 1950s Masters. So all of his 1950s Studio Masters are included on this 4 CD set from the Memphis Recording Service label. Now, the next one I have been asked to do a separate upload for, and I will be doing that very, very soon indeed. Elvis, the Complete 50s Movie Masters and Session Recordings. Again, this is from the Memphis Recording Service label. It is a stunning set. Absolutely. It's just, I have showcased this before. So CDs 1 and 2. 3 and 4 and 5. So sorry, this is 5 CD set. This is, and look at the side. Look at the book that comes inside. I mean, I just haven't got the time to go through all the pages. I'm going to do a separate upload for this. A few of my subscribers have asked me to do a separate upload, and I will get that done really soon for you all. I mean, I just want to do it and give it justice. But again, the book has 200 pages. But again, it is, for me, a box set that is a must-have for all avid collectors of Elvis music. And again, this was also issued on vinyl. But whenever it comes to the Memphis Recording Service label, I always like to get a hold of the CD sets first. And I do not own any of these on vinyl. All of the Memphis Recording Service products that I own are all on CD. And they just do amazing box sets. So that there, the complete 50s movie masters and session recordings. Next, again, is from the Memphis Recording Service label, Elvis Live in the 50s, the complete concert recordings. Again, I have played this so often. I just love it. I love it. Raw Elvis in concert. To me, when you are talking about Elvis being the king of rock and roll, you listen to Elvis live in concert from the 1950s, and you can see why that he was called that. He owned that stage. He owned what he was doing. He knew what the crowd needed. Again, booklet's a good size, and it's got 3 CDs. The book inside is 172 pages. And again, I will do an upload on this separately. I have showcased this before, but not the book inside. So I said I have been asked to do separate uploads. I will get them out of the way. So again, if you are looking at purchasing Elvis box sets that feature music from the 1950s, for me, this is another one that you really do need to get a hold of. Elvis Live in the 50s, the complete concert recordings, Amazon, eBay, Discogs. Again, you're probably looking at around £40–50 for these box sets, like the previous one as well, probably £40–50, maybe more. But I truly believe they are well worth the price. The next one I've got is from the RCA Legacy label. This is a reissue. The original release of this is actually quite rare to get a hold of and quite expensive. Young Man with the Big Beat. So this is, I'm seeing how many CDs. It has 5. It's got 5 discs inside. I must admit, I very rarely listen to this, but when I have listened to it in the past, I thoroughly enjoy it. And again, as I was saying, the original is rarer and more expensive and harder to find. This, let me see when this is from, 2014. This was reissued, so 10 years ago. And inside, you got your 3 CDs there. And then the other 2 at the back. And the book inside, again, I think it's about 150 pages long. But great images of the king inside. So again, this is readily available. The reissue of Young Man with the Big Beat. Again, an item that I feel is a must for all avid Elvis collectors. And again, if you are new collecting Elvis music and you're looking at collecting box sets, try and go for the reissues, because again, some of the originals are really hard to get a hold of. So this is a reissue, and I've never had the opportunity to purchase the original copy. So this is the reissue from 2014. Next is a recent addition to my collection, Elvis 1956, that iconic image from his debut album on the reverse. And this was released, I believe, this year in 2024. Can't see the year anywhere, but I'm sure it was this year that it was released. Inside, you got your CD at the back. And then your booklet. Again, I have shared this before, not the booklet, so I will get that done as well. Please, in the comments below, if you want to ask me anything about these releases, don't hesitate to ask. And obviously, I would get the uploads done as soon as I can. Or if you want me to answer any specific questions about any of these releases, I'll certainly try my best. Again, this cost me, I think it was $24.99, I believe. Again, this is available now. Amazon, eBay, Discogs, Elvis 1956. And this is on the 20th Century Masterworks label. There you go. 20th Century Masterworks label. Elvis 1956. And then lastly, I'm returning to the very first box set that I shared with you, Elvis, the King of Rock and Roll. This is the slimmed down version. So this is the reissue. And the reissue was released in 2012. So as you can see, a lot more slimmed down, but it has exactly the same track listing on 5 CDs. So the CDs, they're not individual inside. So you got 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the booklet will be the same, what I've showcased with you earlier, which I'll do a separate upload for. But as I was saying, you don't have to pay a lot of money to start collecting Elvis Presley music. You know, go for your reissues, you know, because these are exactly the same as the originals. These are just, some of them are digitally remastered from the originals, because some of the originals are expensive and rare to collect or hard to find. So again, for me, I have a lot of my subscribers ask me, why do I also buy the reissues as well as the originals? That's solely because I'm an avid collector. And what I will do is, you know, again, if I do see an original copy on vinyl or CD that I do not own, I always look at the price. I will always look at the price, look at the product inside, and then decide on what price I'm willing to pay. But if I have to buy a reissue of a product, that doesn't bother me in the slightest, as long as I have it in my collection. But you know, before I finish off this upload, so, you know, when you're talking about Elvis music from the 1950s and box sets featuring Elvis music from the 1950s, for me, even if you just own this in your collection, you know, that's your starting point. To me, get this in your collection. This is a majority of the music from the 1950s, except for soundtrack songs. But again, you won't be disappointed, because, you know, you will listen to this and you will realize what talent Elvis had. And, you know, when you listen to music from the 1950s, I'm just in awe. You know, the 1950s is still probably the era of music that I listen to the least. I still listen to music from the 1970s the most, and then 60s, 50s. But whenever I do listen to Elvis music from the 1950s, I always think to myself, I need to listen to it more often. And that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to listen to more music from the 1950s so I can absolutely be confident in, when I talk about music from the 1950s, be sure in what I'm saying. Look, I hope you've all enjoyed this upload. And again, I'm sorry if the upload isn't as good as the rest of them, because I videoed somewhere very differently. And any questions about any of them products that I've just showcased with you all, please don't hesitate to ask me in the comments below. I will be showcasing my box sets featuring Elvis music from the 1960s very soon, so please keep an eye out for that. And I always sign out by saying, please keep Elvis close to your hearts. Please keep on playing his music, and lots of love, everybody. Speak soon. Bye-bye.